Hey guys, so at the end of last week, we saw that Apple reported their earnings, and this turned out to be one of the most monstrous earnings that we've seen during the whole period of economic downturn that we've had for the last 3 months. Now, it was a huge surprise because of the fact that a lot of people actually expected Apple's earnings to be below the estimate. However, they came out almost 54 cents above what was actually expected, and their earnings and revenue was absolutely monstrous. So, a lot of people bought into their stock here at the after hours and during the day, throughout the day, and now their stock is sitting around $430. Now, as a result of this news, a lot of people were wondering whether or not Apple was going to do a fourth or fifth, I think, stock reverse split here that they've done in the last few years. So, what happened before was that Apple stock came up to around the $1,000 mark and they did a 7-to-1 split. And essentially, what this does is it kind of divides your stock price by 7 and makes a second class of shares, similar to how Google has A, B, C, or D shares, depending on how you want to buy them and how risky you want to be or how invested you want to be, etc. So I've been looking at Apple in the last few days to kind of decide whether or not I want to come in on a short-term position to potentially profit on people who might be short selling on Monday, or maybe people who might be holding and hoping that this is going to push their stock price higher here. Now, one thing I do have to say is that $40 in a day for a company like Apple may not sound like a lot, but it is still 10% of movement. And as you may know, every move to either the upside or the downside in many of these markets, in most of the time, does have at least a small pullback. So if you are holding your puts on Apple here, if you did bet that they were going to be going down during the earnings, I would say just hold for the first few minutes of Monday. You'll probably see a small pullback as people kind of take their profits here and kind of get a joyride of kind of pulling out of their stock and selling out for that profit here on Monday. So just kind of keep a close eye on here. You can see that it happened also in the past week here when they came up to 410, they sold off to 405. So if you're looking for about $5 to $10 of movement here at the open on Monday, you'll probably get that, but make sure you don't hold these long term if you're holding puts because of the fact that this company is on a moon mission here. Now, in the last 3 days, Apple announced a stock split like I was talking about earlier, and this one is a 4-for-1, so you can kind of get an indication of what the shares are going to be worth here. And just to kind of elaborate on what this does for a company, it makes these shares more accessible to more investors because of the fact that these shares are at a lower price. You're still trading the same Apple company, the same risks, the same everything. The only difference is that they kind of make more shares, they add shares onto the market so that the new shares can be costing less and that people can come in at a better price if you are an investor that unfortunately can't afford $430 a share. Now, I'm one of these investors and I definitely understand not being able to afford these $430 shares. So I'm glad that they're doing the stock split, and I will definitely be one of the first persons buying this stock split because of the fact that Apple is such a company with explosive growth, and the fact that I've talked about them in previous videos. And what I've kind of explained is that Apple is a company that operates under a suite of products. Now, if you have the Apple charger, you're not going to be going to buy a Samsung phone because of the fact that you're going to have to switch so many products within your house, maybe even down to these portable chargers that have been kind of coming out here in the last year, the chargers that are wireless. Sometimes they don't even work between Apple and Samsung products, and especially not Google phone, other type of competitors in the industry that have a smaller market share than Apple. So you kind of have to think to yourself that the reason why people continue buying the iPhone now may not be because it's the most exclusive or because it's the highest brand. What they kind of want to continue buying is that suite of products here, and it's been proving very profitable for Apple within the last few weeks. Now, another thing to kind of know about Apple is that they briefly became one of the largest companies on planet Earth. Now, before they were hovering around the second or third spot, now they officially passed Saudi Aramco, the largest oil company in the world, the Saudi Arabian oil company. They officially passed them to become the biggest company on planet Earth. So this is another thing that's going to be fueling their growth coming into the next few weeks and months, and especially after they do their stock split, which should be planned for around August. We'll see how much their stock can continue running till then. However, this is one key thing that I want to show you about Apple's stock. Now, I'm on the 1 hour chart right now, and what I was kind of showing you, or what I wanted to show you, was the fact that Apple had been within this channel here, bouncing off this blue line. You can see that I drew the blue line from the bottom of the trend all the way to the top, and I was kind of watching for earnings. This is what happened in earnings here over the last 4 days with this kind of earnings run. And I actually thought that I might buy in at this price, 356. However, I was foolish not to. I saw it happen, but unfortunately, I don't like to take a lot of risk when a company is trading at all-time highs. I'd rather see 10 of these plays slip away than lose money on a single one of them. So that's just kind of my personal investor motto and kind of feeling. However, if you did go in, it was a mega trade here. You can see that they broke this support level that they've been having for the last few months and came much below. However, they found support around this level here. Give me 1 second to mark it up. So they found support around the 355 level here, and you can see that they bounced off immensely from that level and have now come up to the 426. And I would honestly say that they might have come back into this channel here. You got to watch to see whether or not this channel is going to continue to be respected into the future, or whether or not they're going to be breaking into a new trend here on the days to come. Now, you can see that according to the trend here, if they do open up on Monday and come up another 10%, another 5%, then they will officially be out of the channel. And I would honestly be looking for maybe where their next support is going to be, where their next top is going to be, because of the fact that this is such a profitable company, has such large swings, such large up and downs. It's really, really worth it to try and identify a setup here that you can trade profitably within the week time frame, or maybe even the month time frame, if you are able to wait that long on a certain position. So just take a close eye out here on Apple, because according to what the channel here is saying, the previous channel that they were in, they shouldn't see a lot of growth on Monday. Maybe they should see some sideways trading or potentially a small pullback to around the 410 or 412 range. So that's why I was talking about, if you do have puts open for Monday, kind of try to watch out whether or not they are going to be going down a little bit on Monday as a pullback effect, as people take profits, and kind of see, like a lot of people like to see that dollar amount in their account instead of potentially holding a position that could continue running here. So just keep a close eye out. Know that even if you are trading Apple stock, you're not really trading them for the long run, as they are going to be having this stock split around August 24th here. So just keep an eye out during August, at the beginnings of August, the ends of September. You're going to be seeing a lot more volatility on the stock, as a lot of people try to decide whether or not they're going to be selling, buying, what they're going to be doing with their shares, and how they're going to react. So watch for a lot more upwards momentum in the long run. In the short run, watch for a small pullback, but also more than anything else, watch if this channel will be respected, because as you can see, this is a very tight channel, and you could trade upwards, downwards every single move. You could have made thousands of dollars if you identified this channel sooner. So as always, guys, you got to keep an eye on this technical analysis. You got to keep an eye on what's happening with these stocks on a daily basis, as far as news, as far as earnings, etc., so you can make your profits here, and so you can catch a huge monster swing like Apple, who came from the 356 all the way to the 430, guys. So just keep a close eye out on these stocks. There's going to be a lot of news coming next week, a lot more earnings, so just be ready for that, because these companies with earnings are the ones where you can make the most money and the biggest return in the shortest amount of time if you know what you're doing. As always, I recommend earningswhisper.com to kind of see whether or not you're in a good position and decide whether or not you should hold a stock into earnings or sell after the run up to earnings. So yeah, guys, just keep a close eye out on all of these factors. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe the video, and thanks for watching.